What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the McMahon's funding the Trump attackers controversy, WWE Removes Wrestlemania 24, Steve Austin's in-ring career update, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first news. Now, our first news is a very controversial one, as allegations have been made against the McMahon's for funding the Trump attackers. The allegations being made regarding the recent unrest in Washington, D.C. on 6 January when the US Capitol building was taken over, resulting in 5 deaths. Now, allegations are being made that the WWE's Linda McMahon may have served as the chair for a group being accused of involvement in the occupation. CNBC is reporting the rally, officially known as the March to Save America, was largely organized by a 501c4 group known as Women for America First. While we like to stay clear of politics, this matter may have a connection to the WWE, as CNBC reported on the group saying, America First Policies, which is also a 501c4 that does not disclose its donors, is chaired by Linda McMahon, a longtime Trump ally and former head of the Small Business Administration. They were not involved with the planning of the rally itself. As noted, neither McMahon nor Trump were involved with the planning of the rally, but McMahon's role as a chairperson has led to criticism by some. What do you guys think of the situation? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, why Sasha Banks wasn't at SmackDown. Sasha Banks is currently SmackDown Women's Champion, but she was nowhere to be seen on the 8th January SmackDown, leading to questions where Sports Illustrated's 2020 Wrestler of the Year was. Was the boss hurting or filming another television role? Well, not according to a report from Ringside News, who suggested Ringside News has confirmed that Sasha Banks was at Tropicana Field for SmackDown this week, but she was not used. She was also medically cleared. We asked why she wasn't on the show and we received a common answer: no creative direction. The WWE's creative department continues to baffle fans and wrestlers alike as it ignores some of its top talent on shows in desperate need of ratings help. Next up, Jay White in WWE. Is New Japan Pro Wrestling sensation Jay White coming to the WWE? Well, White, who is 28 years old, recently announced he's taking time off from the grappling game after a vicious experience at Wrestle Kingdom 15. However, while this is believed to be an angle, there is talk that the WWE is making a play for the current leader of the Bullet Club. According to the podcast Super J Cast Twitter account, several sources have indicated there is some doubt whether Jay White will extend his New Japan Pro Wrestling contract, rumored to be up at the end of the month. WWE are believed to be making a strong play for him, and it goes 50-50 whether he stays or goes. White is a phenomenal talent with a bright future, or whether he stays in Japan or opts for the WWE or even AEW will be one of the biggest questions of 2021. Next up, WWE Removes Wrestlemania. There's interesting news concerning the WWE Network, as the WWE streaming service has apparently taken down Wrestlemania 24. While the reasons are unconfirmed, Ringside News' Felix Upton reported that the site contacted the WWE and the company reports that the event will be back up soon. According to Upton, the WWE may have taken down the show because this pay-per-view featuring Big Show vs Floyd Mayweather, some believe that this removal is due to a lawsuit that was filed in 2013. As TMZ reported, Anthony Lawrence Dash sued Mayweather over the entrance music he used at WrestleMania. Money Mayweather used a track that Dash said contained his beats that were used without permission. Now, the WWE typically avoids anything even resembling an infringement on music rights. As fans know, they have repeatedly replaced licensed music with in-house music in order to avoid paying royalties. Furthermore, if there is any chance of Mayweather having used a track without authorization, the WWE is likely to do whatever it can to avoid being named in a lawsuit. Next up, Cody Rhodes mentions AEW's biggest failure. As AEW enters its 3rd year, Executive Vice President Cody Rhodes recently gave a grade to the promotion, rating it with an A. Why Rhodes didn't give the promotion an A+, besides the obvious reason that it would have looked like he was patting himself on the back, according to the American Nightmare, to me, one of our biggest pros is also our biggest con, no pun intended. We have such freedom. So such freedom sometimes means that things are too similar on the same show. Well, this guy's asking me to join Team FTW. Well, this group, they're asking if he'll join in this. So that's one of those areas where the freedom is fun and pro. They're not worried about the traditional rules. It's punk rock, but also you have to be disciplined so that it doesn't desensitize the show. Rhodes appeared on Talk Is Jericho, and while he mentioned AEW's creativity as a problem, it's arguable that the communication is the big problem. Case in point, and one Rhodes brought up, was the multiple storylines of wrestlers being invited to join factions on the same nights. Rhodes explained this to Chris Jericho, saying, 8 times out of 10 we've got the flow right, but on nights that we have and where it's our own freedom has been our biggest enemy. But I'd rather that than a sanitized C+ show. To me, the thing we need to work on the most is not taking the freedom for granted and maybe a little bit more of communication between the boys themselves. Hey, I'm doing this. It doesn't mean you can't, but what else can you do? You're super talented. I think that would go a long way. AEW has a lot going for it, but the promotion is not without flaws. Cody's comments, while somewhat critical, are also a bit self-serving and need to be taken with some skepticism. Nevertheless, there's no arguing AEW's success despite the pandemic and stiff competition from the WWE. And finally, Stone Cold's in-ring career update. And last but not least, Stone Cold Steve Austin's career is one of wrestling's greatest what-if situations, as fans wonder how much longer the Attitude Era icon would have wrestled had he not been forced to retire in 2003 due to a neck injury. Since then, Austin has always teased the possibility of a return, but recently the Texas Rattlesnake spoke with Fox Sports and commented on the chance of a return, with the Twitter account WWE on Fox posting an excerpt saying, "I don't need to go out there and drop anybody on a stack of dimes and give them stunners, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. I don't want to do nothing else in the ring. I'm done. I'm retired." At 56 years of age, Austin has nothing left to prove in his Hall of Fame career, despite it being cut short. But there you have it, guys, the wildest wrestling news, stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.